How's it going, everyone? If you would, please like, comment, subscribe to the channel. A few updates. I didn't actually post a video for. I am still doing my review for Marty Supreme. I didn't put that review up yet because I needed time to sort of marinate on it. And I'll be doing The Boys season 5. I haven't watched The Boys season 5 yet, but I will be watching The Boys season 5. I didn't finish it, so there'll be a review up for that. So I know, like, so I've been hearing a lot of opinions about Boys season 5, so I'll get my opinion on that as well. Also, I have a bonus video coming up. As you probably heard before, I am a huge Resident Evil fan. I've been playing Resident Evil since 1996 when the first game dropped back on the PlayStation 1. I was 11 years old when that game came out, and that game did scare the hell out of me when I was a kid. And ever since then, I've just been a Resident Evil fan. When 2 came out, rented it from Blockbuster over and over and over again just so I could beat it. And then I actually owned a copy of it on PS1. My brother had a copy of it on Nintendo 64. I had the PS1 version. And the PS1 version was made with 2 discs. So it was 2 discs. One of the discs was Leon, and the other disc was you can play as Claire. I still remember that the jewel double case. So I've just always been a Resident Evil fan. So now the video I'm going to be posting, and I'm glad a good friend of mine asked me to do this because I think this is going to be fun, is to rank all the Resident Evil games in my opinion. Now, this is going to be my opinion. It may match up with yours. You may think, Resident Evil 2 remake is the greatest Resident Evil of all time. You may think Resident Evil 5 is the greatest Resident Evil of all time. However you look at it, if you're a fellow Resident Evil fan like I am, you're probably going to think, yeah, my Resident Evil is Resident Evil Outbreak. That might be your favorite Resident Evil. I don't see why Resident Evil Outbreak would be your favorite Resident Evil, but hey, we're all entitled to our opinions. Point is, this is going to be me ranking the Resident Evil games accordingly. I'm going to be doing the Resident Evil games. Now, I'm not going to do every game. I do have an exception. So the rule is going to be, I'm going to exclude all the mobile games because I'm not going back and playing all the mobile the mobile Resident Evils. There was a Resident Evil game on the Game Boy Advance called Resident Evil Gaiden, and I think that one's kind of rare now, so I won't be including that one. The only games I'm going to be really including, honestly, are the spin-offs and the mainstay titles. That would be Resident Evil 1 through Resident Evil 1 through 9, which are all the mainstay titles. We're going to be talking about I'm going to include the Outbreak games. That's Files 1 and 2, Revelations 1 and 2, Survivor. If I get to play Survivor, I got to figure out how I'm going to play Survivor, because that game is rare. I think I can pull it up on my Vita and download it on my Vita, because I know the PlayStation Store was... Yes, I got my PlayStation Vita right here. Works and everything. Thing is amazing. Got it for 150 bucks. And it's a good friend of mine, his shop that he owns. He gave me 5 games from all Japanese RPGs. It was amazing. Really amazing deal. So, because I'm going to look in the store and see if, because there are a couple Resident Evil titles I haven't played that are kind of rare. That is Survivor. Well, I played Survivor, but that was a very long time ago, so I don't really remember much of Survivor. There was Survivor, and there was Resident Evil Dead Aim. That's the other one, where you're on a boat. And Resident Evil Survivor, I remember that game sucked really bad. So it could be a bottom of the list thing with that game. That was just some Resident Evil that it was near the end of the console life for the PS1, and Capcom just randomly threw out a Resident Evil game, and it wasn't good. So there, like I said, there's Resident Evils I haven't played. I haven't played any of the Dark Side Chronicles games. I forgot about those. But luckily for me, they are available for play on PlayStation Plus, and I have PlayStation Plus. They pretty much have at least all the more recent Resident Evil titles in there. They have 1 through 7 on here that's free. I bought 8. I bought my brother 9. I'm still borrowing his copy of 9 because I want to stream those for you guys and continue. I want to continue streaming 8 so that way we can get into streaming 9. And then, like I said, there's Resident Evil Outbreak or Operation Raccoon City. You got, what else? Man, there's so many Resident Evil games. I'll look this up too. There are over 30 Resident Evil games. Especially with 9, because 9 now is officially the 30th anniversary of Resident Evil. Resident Evil came out practically exactly 30 years ago from whenever Resident Evil 9 came out this year. Resident Evil 1 came out exactly 30 years before that game came out, which is kind of cool. But yeah, so that is going to be my criteria for Resident Evil. Like I said, it's either going to be a mainstay title, it's going to be only the mainstay titles, and it's only going to be the side games, excluding the mobile games. I'm not doing any mobile games. It'll just be strictly the main games and the spinoffs. But my only thing is, like I said, I have to play Dead Aim. I've never played Dead Aim. The reviews on it were kind of low back then, so I just never bought Dead Aim. And now that I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, I kind of wish I had bought Dead Aim, so I have it just to have it in my collection. But because Dead Aim came with the gun comm, I remember it came with like a gun comm, the little gun that you point and shoot, the light gun you shoot at the screen. Sent 2 notifications. Okay, the new GoldenEye 007 is out. So I'm going to be Resident Evil'd out here for probably the next few days or so, just so I can get this video. Like I said, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. I love Resident Evil. It'd be nice. So, oh yeah, and this is the other criteria I was thinking too. So, I was thinking, so if the game is a remake to the original, I'm not going to include the original. If that makes sense, because I don't think, because I'm going to be honest with you, I feel like the Resident Evil remakes fixed a lot of the problems. So I feel like we have remakes to Resident Evil 1, 2, 3, now we have 4, and they're talking about doing a remake to 5. So like those 4 games, I'm not going to include the originals, because the originals are just outdated at this point, and they remade the new ones, of course, to update the originals. So I'm not going to include the original Resident Evil titles. I'm going to include the remakes. So the remakes will be the only thing. So I'm not going to do Resident Evil 1996, but then I'm gonna do the remake to Resident Evil, that Resident Evil game. I'm not doing all that. Uh, so I've been playing Operation Raccoon City. Uh, Here, I'm gonna see if I can flip. Yes, I got Raccoon, or well, this is Resident Evil 9. So we got 9. I'm trying to keep the camera on the TV. I don't want y'all to see the room, but so I got, yeah, Operation Raccoon City. There's no picture for it, but it's there. Uh, and then I got Village. Of course, I've been playing Village. Like I said, I actually bought Village. Uh, and then like I said, it's just a slew of Resident Evil games that I can download and play. So let's try to see if I can find Resident Evil. I wish there was a way to get this camera on the TV. I cannot hold this camera on the TV to save my life. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, so see. Have all these Resident Evils. Now, the remake to 2 is only $8 on here. You know what? I might do that. I might do that. And then 7 is only $8. So they're discounting some of these. But and they got some of these originals on here too. Yeah, they got the old Resident Evil 1, the original Nemesis, Dark Side Chronicles. So yeah, I'm gonna the Umbrella Chronicles on here, Revelations 2. So yeah, I'm gonna be playing these, and I'll probably just play a good chunk of them over again, just so that way I can give you my rating. So the way the rating system I think is going to work is this. I am going to probably do like a tier grade or something like that. I saw somebody do this where they had a tier grade, you know, S being the highest ranking, and F being the lowest ranking, or this game is great up here and this game is a piece of shit down here. However, I wanted to basically do it, but I want to have like categories, and then sort of put those games in which category I think is better. Or I can just do like a regular ranking system too. That'd probably be a lot easier for me. Is to just sort of start from the top. So if I start from the top, basically being I'm going from the worst game to what I think is the best game out of the Resident Evil series. Again, like I said, this is only going to be remakes and side games. So, but yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. It's definitely gonna be fun. Let's say shout out. I don't know if he wants me to actually put his name out here, but I think this friend knows who he is. He made the suggestion. I don't want to throw people's names out there, if you don't want your name thrown out there. But no, I really appreciate you doing this suggestion. Like I said, I think I'm gonna have a good time doing this, playing all these Resident Evils, and kind of going over again, making a whole video on which one I think is the best or the worst Resident Evil game to the best Resident Evil game. I think I got a few set, but like I said, I got to play the ones I haven't played yet, and I think I am going to go back over the ones that I have played just to refresh my memory, because I know some of them I haven't played in a while. Like I haven't played Resident Evil 6 in a long time. I haven't played Resident Evil 5 in a long time, but I played Resident Evil 5 like a billion times, so I remember. Yeah, I remember Resident Evil 5. But I know people are asking for Resident Evil 5 to be remade, so we might get a remake to that one. I want Code Veronica to be remade too. They need to bring Claire back in some sort of fashion. It's like Capcom completely forgot Claire Redfield existed in these games at one point. So, but no, I said this is gonna be a good time. I can't wait to start doing this. So that um that's definitely my video for this. So just stick around, just look for it. I'm gonna be putting up that video, and you guys will get to find out from a Resident Evil fan, a long time 30-year Resident Evil fan, what I thought about, or what do I think about what games. So uh, that is all I have for this video, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.